Hey everybody, it's Katie from I Cannot Even, and today I'm going to show you how to make the drops in the water crochet hat. Before we get started, make sure you check out the description box below for any pattern notes or for a link to the written pattern if you'd like to follow along. But otherwise, let's just jump right into the video. For this pattern, you will need a baby weight yarn, which will say size 3 on the back, a 4mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, some scissors, and a pom-pom if you're about that life. To start, go ahead and create a slip knot, insert your hook, and tighten your slip knot around the base of your hook. First, you'll need to create a foundation chain of 96. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So off camera, I'm going to finish up the rest of my chains. Again, you're going to do 96 all together, and once you're finished up, go ahead and come back to the video and I'll show you how to start round 1. Once you've created all 96 chains, you're going to turn your work into a loop by slip stitching into the very first chain that you created. Be careful not to twist your work, or when you get to the very end of round 1, things are going to be a little bit messy. So to start round 1, you'll chain 1, which will never count as a stitch. So on this round, you'll be putting a double crochet in every stitch around. So to get started, you're going to put a double crochet in the same chain that you just slip stitched into. There's our first one, and double crochet in the next, 2, 3, 4, 5, 'So go ahead and put, again, 1 double crochet in every chain around, and I will meet you up to show you how to move on to round 2. At the end of round 1, you should have 96 double crochets all together, and you're just going to slip stitch into the top of the very first double crochet to close the round. To start round 2, chain up 1. Again, this will never count as a stitch, and the pattern for this round is going to be 2 front post double crochets and 2 back post double crochets all the way around. So you do 1 front post double crochet, there's 1, 2, and 2 back post double crochets, 1 and 2, and you're just going to repeat that for the entire round. So 2 front post double crochets, here's my second one, and 2 back post double crochets. Well, if I could pick my stitch up, there we go. 1, and 2. So I think y'all know the drill. Go ahead and finish up this round. Again, that's going to be 2 front post double crochets and then 2 back post double crochets all the way around, and then I will show you how to do round 3. For round 3, I'd like to introduce everybody to my dog. She was whining and she opened the door, so she'll be joining us for who knows how long. But at the end of round 2, you should have altogether a stitch count of 96, and you should have also ended on a back post double crochet. So to close the round, you will slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet, and then you're ready to move on to round 3. Rounds 3 through 6 are going to complete the brim, and they are repeats of round 2. So you'll chain up 1, and you'll front post double crochet around the front post double crochet from the previous round, and you'll do a second one, and then you will back post double crochet and a second back post double crochet around the next stitch. And the more you do this 2 front post double crochet, 2 back post double crochet pattern, and the more rounds that you build, you'll start to see a 2x2 ribbing effect really start to take place. So I just did 2 front post double crochets and 2 back post double crochets. And y'all guessed it, folks, once again, go ahead and finish up rounds 3 through 6 following this 2 front post double crochet, 2 back post double crochet pattern, and then slip stitching into the top of the first front post double crochet of the round to close each round. Oh, that's a lot to say. And once you've done that, I will meet you back up to show you how to start the body of the hat. At the end of round 6, your work should look something like this, and then you're ready to start round 7. So round 7 is the increase round. So the stitches that we add here are going to give our hat enough room to expand, to make space for all of the heavy cable work that makes up the rest of the body of the hat. So to start, you'll chain up 1, and then you're going to do 7 front post double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And around the 8th stitch, you're going to do 2 front post double crochets. So this is our increase. So here's 1, and then you'll work back around the same stitch for the second front post double crochet. So let me do that with y'all one more time. So again, 7 front post double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so when you're reaching for those back post double crochets from the previous round to do a front post double crochet around them, just make sure you really get your hook behind them. So here's our 7th front post double crochet, and this will be our increase. So 1 and 2 front post double crochets around the 8th stitch. So go ahead and finish the round doing 7 front post double crochets and 2 front post double crochets around the 8th stitch, and when you get to the end of the round, we'll meet back up and I'll show you how to do round 8, which is the first cabling round. At the end of round 7, you should have 108 stitches all together, and to close the round, you'll just slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet. Now to start round 8, just like before, we're going to chain up 1, And this whole round is worked in a repeat pattern that happens across the next 12 stitches, but I like to break it into 2 steps and focus on 6 stitches at a time. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and work into the 4th one here with a front post treble crochet. And what that looks like is yarn over twice, skip 3 stitches, hook up our stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. So in the next stitch, we're going to do another front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, hook our stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And in the next stitch, we're going to do what I call a front post quadruple crochet. I might have made this term up. It makes sense in my brain, but if you know the correct term, definitely leave that in the comments below. You know, we all have a little bit to learn sometimes. But what I do is I'll yarn over 3 times, hook that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times, which is the quadruple part. And now that we've finished these 3 stitches, it's time to go back and work the first 3 skipped stitches. So we're going to work our stitches in the order in which they were skipped. So 1, 2, 3, but we're going to work them opposite of the first 3 that we just did, if that makes sense. So this first skipped stitch is going to get a front post quadruple crochet. So yarn over 3 times, reach down and around, hook your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. And the next 2 skip stitches are both going to get front post treble crochets. So yarn over twice, reach down and around, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 stitches 3 times, or 2 loops 3 times. So the next one is also going to get a front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, reach down and around, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And so now you should have something that looks like 3 stitches sitting on top of 3 stitches, and that is exactly what you should have. So now that we finished this first set of 6, let me show you how to do the next set of 6 stitches. So for the next set of 6 stitches, we're going to skip 3 again. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work around the 4th stitch with a front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, skip 1, 2, 3, grab our stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And in the next stitch, we're also going to work a front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, grab our stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And again, in the next stitch, we're going to do a front post quadruple crochet. So yarn over 3 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. So instead of reaching down and around to work through our skip stitches, we're actually going to work behind these 3 that we just created. So I kind of will fold my work down and get them out of the way. And then you can see, hopefully, here's 1, 2, 3 skipped stitches. So we're going to work them again in the order in which they were skipped. So this will be the first, this will be the second, and this will be the third. So in this first one, we're going to do a front post quadruple crochet. So yarn over 3 times, find your first skip stitch and hook it up, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. 2, 3, 4. And right now, because we have the initial 3 stitches of this set pulled down, it's looking a little bit messy, but I promise it'll come together. So this is the stitch we just worked around. We want to work around the second skipped stitch. So yarn over twice for a front post treble crochet, find your stitch and hook it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times. Now this last skip stitch can kind of get lost in the mix, so if you need to like really pull your work around, I promise it'll be okay. And what makes it kind of difficult as well is that in the previous row we had put 2 stitches around the same stitch, so you kind of got them sticking together pointing opposite directions like a cactus. So just make sure that you go in the next stitch next to the one that you just created with a front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, find your stitch and hook it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And then it's looking like a mess, right? But if we straighten out our stitches, we'll see that we have another set of stitches where 3 are sitting on top of 3. And you'll kind of see that these 2 sets are mirroring each other. So they look like they're swooping in. That's what we want to be working with. So for the remainder of round 8, we're going to follow that 12 stitch sequence all the way around until you reach the end of the round. So let's go ahead and do it together one more time. We're going to start by skipping 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and putting a front post treble crochet around the next. So yarn over twice, 1, 2, 3, hook your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. In the next stitch, you'll do a front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, hook up your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And in the next stitch, you got a little cactus one again. You'll yarn over 3 times. Yarn over 3 times for front post quadruple crochet. Hook your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. And now that you've completed those 3 stitches, we'll go back to our skipped ones. And in this first one, we'll work another front post quadruple crochet. So yarn over 3 times. Hook our stitch by reaching down and around, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. In the next skip stitch, you'll do a front post treble crochet, yarn over twice, hook your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And in the third skip stitch that's hiding there in the middle, you'll do a front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, hook your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. So now that the first half of the set is done, we will skip 3 stitches and put a front post treble crochet around the next. So yarn over twice, 1, 2, 3, hook the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. In the stitch next to that, another front post treble crochet, yarn over twice, hook the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. I know it's real repetitive, but I like saying it. So in the next stitch, we'll do the front post quadruple crochet. So yarn over 3 times, grab the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. So remember, on the second half, we're working behind these ones. So fold down your work, find your skipped stitches, so 1, 2, and 3, and work a front post quadruple crochet around your first skipped stitch. So yarn over 3 times, find your stitches, hook up the first skipped stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. All right, so now you can kind of see that we had grabbed up this one. So fold your work down again if you have to. Find your next skipped stitch. Oh, let me move my hook out of the way. Find your next skip stitch and work a front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, hook your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And in the last skip stitch that's kind of hiding up in the bundle, you'll do a front post treble crochet. So yarn over 2 times, hook your stitch, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And then go ahead and straighten everything out, and you'll see that you have a second set of the 12 stitch sequence where it looks like the 2 twists are swooping in each other. So go ahead and finish up the rest of round 8 following that pattern, and then I will meet you back at the end and show you how to move on to round 9. So to close round 8, you're going to slip stitch into the stitch that is closest to the start of your round. And it just so happens to be the stitch that's reaching from behind these top 3 stitches. So to start round 9, you'll chain up 1, and the pattern for this round is going to be front post double crochets around every stitch around, but you have to make sure you do them in the right order. So for example, first we'll do the 3 stitches hiding behind, then we'll do the 3 stitches on top, and that's for this half of the 12 stitch sequence from the previous round. So on the second half, we'll do the 3 stitches sitting on top, and then we'll do the 3 stitches hiding behind, and that's for the second half of the 12 stitch sequence. So to show you what that looks like, as you'll yarn over for your front post double crochet, hook up your first stitch, yarn over, and finish your front post double crochet. So then you'll front post double crochet around the second stitch hiding behind. And then front post double crochet around the third stitch hiding behind. So now that those 3 are done, you can do the 3 on top. So front post double crochet, front post double crochet around the next, and front post double crochet around the next. So that is the first half of our 12 stitch sequence. That is so hard to say, 12 stitch sequence completed. And so on the second half, we'll do the top ones first. So front post double crochet, front post double crochet the next, front post double crochet the next top stitch. And now that those 3 are done, you're going to do front post double crochets around the 3 stitches hiding behind. Front post double crochet, front post double crochet, and front post double crochet. And that is the second half of our 12 stitch sequence. So you're going to follow that same pattern all the way around. So on this next one, you'll do the back 3 first, and then you'll front post double crochet around the top 3, and on the other side you'll front post double crochet the top 3 first, and then you'll front post double crochet around the back 3 first. So definitely go ahead and finish that up, pause the video, finish your work, and then meet me back at the end and I'll show you round 10. Round 10, bless round 10, uses no brain power at all. At the end of round 9, you'll slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet to close the round, and then you'll chain up 1 to start round 10. And like I said before, this round uses 0 brain power. It's going to be front post double crochets all the way around. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. How easy is that? So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting a front post double crochet all the way around the rest of this round, and then I will show you what to do next. So to close round 10, you'll slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet, and then you'll chain up 1 to start round 11. Now round 11 is another cabling round that's worked in a 12 stitch sequence, but I focus on 6 stitches at a time. So just like before, we're going to skip 3 and we're going to do a front post treble crochet in the 4th stitch. And in the stitch next to that, another front post treble crochet. And in the stitch after that, a front post quadruple crochet. So yarn over 3 times, hook our stitch, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops 4 times. And now that these 3 stitches are complete, it's time to go back and work our 3 skipped stitches. And this time, for this side of the sequence, we're going to work behind the stitches that we just created. So fold down your work so that you can see your skipped stitches. So I've got 1, 2, and 3. And in the first skip stitch, do a front post quadruple crochet. So yarn over 3 times, hook your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. And in the next skipped stitch, do a front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, grab your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times. And remember that third one's always kind of hiding up in the mix. So in the third skip stitch, another front post treble crochet. So then we'll straighten everything out. And you'll see, just like before, you've got 3 stitches sitting on top of 3 stitches. So now that this side of the sequence is complete, you can move on to the second half. So again, we'll skip 3 and put a front post treble crochet around the 4th. And in the next stitch, another front post treble crochet. And in the next one, another front post quadruple crochet. So on this half of the sequence, now that these 3 stitches are done, we'll go back and we'll work in front of them for the skipped stitches. So in the first skip stitch, a front post quadruple crochet, reach down and around, hook it, yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2 loops 4 times. And in the next skip stitch, a front post treble crochet, and in the third skip stitch, another front post treble crochet. So down and around, hook it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops 3 times. So now you can see that our twists are pointing the opposite directions of the direction that we got from round 8. So instead of swooping in, they're kind of swooping out from each other. So you'll go ahead and complete that 12 stitch sequence for the rest of the round. And once you've done that, I'll meet you back up at the end and show you how to do round 12. To close round 11, slip stitch into the stitch that is closest to the start of your round. And this time it's coming from this stitch that is sitting on top of the twist. So then you'll chain up 1 to start round 12, and round 12 is similar to round 9, but again it's worked opposite because round 11 was opposite of round 8. So these are going to be all front post double crochets all the way around, but what you're going to do is you'll crochet around the 3 stitches on top first. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to front post double crochet around the 3 stitches hiding behind the twist. So here's 1, 2, and 3. And on the other side of the 12 stitch sequence, you're going to front post double crochet around the 3 hiding behind the twist first. So here's 1, 2, and 3. And then front post double crochet around the 3 stitches on top of the twist. 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to follow this pattern all the way around round 12. So for example, on the next set, you'll do front post double crochets around the 3 top stitches, and then front post double crochets around the 3 bottom stitches. And then on the other side, you'll do 3 front post double crochets around the bottom stitches, and then 3 front post double crochets around the top stitches. So go ahead and follow that sequence until the end of round 12, and of course I will meet you back up at the end to show you how to do round 13. So to close round 12, you'll just slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet, and then chain up 1 to start round 13. Round 13 is another hallelujah, ain't gotta use no brain juice to do this round. So they're going to be all front post double crochets around. So just like before, we'll do 1, 2. Oh, I got squeaky yarn right now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So go ahead and put 1 front post double crochet around the remainder of the stitches for this round, and then I will meet you back up and give you your next set of instructions. To close round 13, simply slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet, and then rounds 14 through 26 are going to be achieved by repeating rounds 8 through 13 2 times. So I'll be sure to leave a timestamp in the description box below of where the instructions for round 8 start here in the video, in case you want to watch round 8 through 13 while you're working. But don't forget that the written pattern is also linked in the description box below in case that's easier for you to reference while you work. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up rounds 14 through 26 off camera, and again I'll do that by repeating rounds 8 through 13 2 times. And when I get back, we're only 6 rounds away from finishing this hat, so I will see you soon. And I'm back. Now that I've completed rounds 14 through 26, you can definitely see the hat is taking shape and all the texture that's going on. So we only have 3 more rounds to do before we do the 3 decrease rounds. So the rest of this hat is going to go super quick. So hang in there and I'm going to show you what to do next. So to start round 27, I already chained up 1, and then round 27 is going to be a repeat of round 8. So it's going to happen across 12 stitches, but focusing on 6 stitches at a time. Ooh, Bonnie, you got a lot of attitude over there right now. So first we're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to front post treble crochet into the 4th. And front post treble crochet into the next. And front post quadruple crochet around the next. So then we're going to go back to our 3 skip stitches and do a front post quadruple crochet around the first one. So reach down and around, hook it. And then a front post treble crochet in the next skip stitch. And a front post treble crochet in the 3rd skip stitch. And moving on to the other side of the 12 stitch sequence, we're going to skip 3 and front post treble crochet around the 4th. Front post treble crochet around the next. Front post quadruple crochet around the next. And then we'll work behind these 3 stitches to crochet around our 3 skipped stitches. So remember, kind of fold your work down, locate your 3 skipped stitches. So here's 1, 2, and 3, and front post quadruple crochet around the first. All right, front post treble crochet around the next skip stitch. And front post treble crochet around the third skip stitch. Straighten everything out, and that completes your 12 stitch sequence. So go ahead and finish that for the rest of round 27. So again, skip 3, front post treble crochet around the next, front post quadruple crochet around the next, go back to your 3 skip stitches, do a front post quadruple crochet, a front post treble crochet around the second skip stitch, and a front post treble crochet around the third skip stitch. And then you'll skip 3 again, do a front post treble crochet around the 4th stitch, do a front post treble crochet around the next stitch, a front post quadruple crochet around the next stitch, and then work behind those to go back to your skip stitches for a front post quadruple crochet, a front post treble crochet, and a front post treble crochet in the last skipped stitch. And then I will see you at the very end to move on to round 28. So to close round 27, you'll slip stitch into the top of the first stitch from the round, and it just so happens to be the one that's poking out from behind the twist. And to start round 28, you'll chain up 1, and round 28 is a repeat of round 9. So first we're going to front post double crochet around the 3 stitches hiding behind the twist. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then front post double crochet around the 3 stitches, on top of the twist. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So that completes the first 6 stitches out of the 12 stitch sequence. So moving on to the other side, first we'll front post double crochet around the 3 top stitches. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll front post double crochet around the 3 stitches hiding behind. 1, 2, and 3. So go ahead and finish that pattern for the rest of round 28. So just to show you again, moving on to this side, first you'll do front post double crochets around the 3 stitches hiding behind, and then front post double crochets around the top stitches. And on the other side, you'll do front post double crochets around the top stitches, and then front post double crochets around the bottom stitches. Finish it up, and then I will meet you back at the end to show you how to move on to round 29. So to finish round 28, slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet, and then chain up 1. So row 29 is going to be a repeat of round 10, and it is also the last round of the body of the hat. So each of these stitches around is going to get a front post double crochet. So here's 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Here we go. So you'll get the idea. So go ahead and finish putting 1 front post double crochet on the rest of the stitches, and then I will meet you back up at the very end to show you how to move on to the crown decrease. Just like every other round, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet to close round 29. And then chain up 1 to start round 30. So for round 30, we're going to front post double crochet 2 together all the way around. So we're decreasing now. So yarn over, hook 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through both, yarn over and pull through 2 loops 2 times. So that's 2 stitches now turned into 1. So on these next 2 stitches, you'll do the same thing. Hook both and crochet around both. And what this is doing is taking our stitch count from 108 to 54. So around these next 2, you'll front post double crochet 2 together. And let me show you one more time before I leave you to it. So these next 2, we'll yarn over, hook both stitches, yarn over, pull through both, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops twice. So finish up that process until the end of the round, and then I will move on to round 31 with you. To close round 30, slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet and chain up 1 for round 31. So for round 31, we're also going to be front post double crocheting 2 together for the entire round. So this is going to take our stitch count from 54 to 27. So yarn over, hook up 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through both, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops twice. So then we'll do the next 2 together. So yarn over, hook up both stitches, pull through both, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops twice. So one more time, we're going to do these next 2 stitches together. So yarn over, hook up both stitches, yarn over and pull through both, yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. So go ahead and finish up this round, and I will meet you back at the very end to show you how to do the last round of this hat. So to close round 31, you'll slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet, and then you'll chain up 1 to start round 32, which is the last round of the hat. So you might have guessed it by now, we're going to front post double crochet 2 together for this round as well. So yarn over, hook up 2 stitches, yarn over, pull it through both of them, yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. So then we'll do the next 2 together with a front post double crochet. Make sure you hook up both stitches, yarn over, pull through both, and finish your front post double crochet. So go ahead and finish up front post double crocheting 2 together for the rest of the round, and then I will be back and I'll show you how to finish your hat up. So you might be noticing at the end of round 32 that there's this one little guy that doesn't have a partner, and that's okay. Just give him his own front post double crochet. And then you will slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet to close the round. And if you have your scissors handy, it is time to cut yourself a tail and tie off your work. So I do that by yarning over and pulling the tail through the very last stitch and tightening it. So after tightening and tying off your yarn, grab yourself a yarn needle, thread your tail through it, and then stick the yarn needle through the hole in the top of your hat and pull it through, and then turn the rest of your hat inside out. Here we go. So once our hat is inside out, we're going to take our yarn needle and we're going to weave in and out of the stitches at the top of the hat until we go all the way around. So we got in and out, and in, and out. In and out. And we are almost there. All right, this last one right here. And once you've made it all the way around, go ahead and just tighten it and pull it like a drawstring. And that will close the top of your hat. So off camera, I went ahead and secured the tail on the inside just to make sure that nothing comes apart and that I woven any extra loose ends that I might have hanging out. And then if you want to add a pom-pom, add a pom-pom, but if you don't want to add a pom-pom, don't add a pom-pom. That's totally up to you. But if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all my future projects. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.